Hi, I'm back. I'm Jill with Copycat Crafts by Jill, and I have the cutest little accordion file folder. It's not a file folder, accordion journal thing. I did not make make this up. I didn't come up with this idea. This is actually from Pink Monarch Prince, and she has a video, an exceptionally good video on making this. I will link it below because you will probably need to refer to it. However, I just had to make it when I seen her do hers. And I did make it in two different sizes. So I have two different sizes. So it's proof you can make yours any size you want. I made mine in two different sizes because one, my papers I print with borders, and the first one I cut off all the borders and then made it. Then I thought on the bigger one I would not cut off all the borders, and I made it without having to do that, and it came out a little bigger. So let's get in. Let me just show you what it is. I will say there's a little change I will do in the new one that I'm making tonight, and I'll show you why. Okay, so if you open it this way, this is the journal part, which I didn't put anything in, no pockets, no nothing yet. I will fill that up. That's the journal side. And when you flip it over, just flip it over, you can open this side, and it is the accordion section. Now, mine is way tight compared to hers, and I know I'm a professional paper worker and crafter, and it took me a minute to realize why mine came out so much tighter, which I don't mind, to be honest. I probably don't want all of them like that, but I don't mind. Then I made this one, and it is a hair bigger. So again, this one, it opens a little bit wider. And I realized it is the pieces that I put on the top, I don't cut short enough. So it limits how each accordion opens, because I have this extra piece here. If I make it shorter, it will open up more. So that's my plan. I say that now, but that is my plan. And then if you turn it over, this one has two, and then this one also didn't decorate or anything. I will get to that. This is just basically what I would say the base is. I used Velcro dots on all the closures because they're fast and easy. You don't have to, you can use a tie, you can put any kind of closure on it you want, but I just wanted to get started. And there's kind of a lot of pieces, even though it's actually simple, but it did take me a hot minute to find my own excuse me, flavor, but I did. The papers I'm using are from My Porch Prints. And the only reason I'm using up the papers, because these are all papers that I already print, and there they are already printed. I just wanted to use up some of the papers that I've already printed because I always overprint. So this one was made mainly with, who was this one made with? Gee, I don't really know now. I'd have to look that up. I'd have to look it up because I think this one was made with leftover papers from Margaret's Seven Plaza. Her papers when I got her papers, not the cover, but all the papers inside were made from leftover of her papers. These were all just leftovers because I always overprint. That's how I roll. So this is what they look like when I cut the border off from around them, and of course this is what the border looks like. This is 110, is a 110 cardstock. I chose cardstock. I don't know if she uses paper or cardstock because she mentions both. And I will say they have to be double-sided. This one, when I made this one, I used papers, but they were not double-sided, so I doubled the papers. Then that made them basically as thick as, maybe thicker than one piece of the cardstock. So when I made the second one, I just made it out of the cardstock, but it does need to be printed on both sides. If yours isn't, the only time you will see that is in the accordion section. When you open it up, the inside of the accordion folders or envelopes, whatever you call them, will be white on the inside if they're not double printed. So just keep that in mind. I always double print, so I have a gazillion. So I just wanted to let you know the papers I'm using today are from My Porch Prints, and the idea came from Pink Monarch Prints, so I will link that. These are some of the little pieces we are going to be needing, which I already cut and prepped, but I will give you my measurements. Your measurements may be completely different, and I'll show you how I got my measurements. I even professionally wrote them down here. So okay, no looking. But this is what I started with. It's a 11 by 8.5 piece of cardstock from Walmart. Printed double, all of them. To get to this size, I wanted mine to be 10 inches because it's a easy number, because later we fold them in half and it's easy to work with 5-inch. So I wanted them 10 inches. So that allowed me to take off 1 inch. So that's what I did. I just took off a 1/2 inch and a 1/2 inch, however you want to work it. Take off 1 inch total, but that allowed me to get rid of the white border. Okay, so now this is 10 inches. This is still 8.5. That is fine because we're going to score it, and then that's what it will look like. So we are going to score it, and it will look like that. So before I go too far, I left this one plain so that I could work on it with U's to show you what I did. So I know I want it 10 inches, so I pulled that out. And I don't want to cut off those numbers, even though depending on how I fold it, you won't even see it. You probably won't even see it. But then that allows me to bring this side out to 10 inches. And we're just going to, you can keep these. I love this paper, and if I keep it this way, I like to stamp a number on it, and I think it's really cool. So, okay. So once you have it cut, you need 5 pieces. Guess I didn't say that. You need 5. 5 double-sided pieces. Cut them all, or I did, to 10 inches. 10 inches. All of them are 10 inches. Then you get your scoreboard. Let me move those out of the way. I used the big scoreboard. So I will bring that in. And this is the part that I want you to pay attention to. Okay. This is still 8.5. My scoreboard starts at 12 and 1 is down here. I always work from this way, so I have to count. That's just how I do it. So I put my 8.5 up against the very top. This is now 10 inches going straight down. So I put it straight in and I go 2.5 and I score at 2.5 inches. I score. And because it is cardstock, I give it a couple scorings. Then I just flip it around to the other side. And I score at 2 inches. 2 inches. So it's 2.5 on whatever side you want. It's 2.5. Then you flip it. You just turn it around. You're not really flipping it. You're turning it. And you're doing 2 at 2 inches. Then pick whatever side you want out. I guess I'll pick the lighter side. Okay. Fold your 2 ends in. Like that. Now, you definitely want to do really good burnishing down, really good, because it is thicker paper. It's going to, you know, when you start bending it, manipulating it too much, it gets cranky. Now, you see it overlaps. That is good. That is what we want. But I don't want to see this white line, so you can pick whichever side you want. I will cut. I think I cut on all the others. I took the 2.5 inch side and I cut the white line, the white border off. So I won't do it with this one. It's really bad. But that's what you do. So do I have any more? This one needs to be scored as well. So one more time, the 8.5. 8.5, it's 10 long. So put it up all the way to the end, or however you like to work with your scoreboard. My first one will be at 2.5. 1, 2.5, and score. 2.5. We are scoring. Okay, then just turn it and put the other side up. 1, 2. This one you score at 2. Then you want to fold your ends in. Now I'm going to get rid of the scoreboard for now, because I will need to bring out this again, because I want to trim off on my 2.5 inch side. I'm going to trim off the white border. So just put it on there. It doesn't have to be super perfect, but you have to leave enough that it still overlaps. So that really only gives you about a 1/2 inch overlap, but it's enough, because we will use a lot of glue. It's enough. Okay, again on this one, on the 2.5 inch side, I want to remove the border. Just gotta line it up. So your measurements might be a little different, but the process will be the same. Okay, so when we go, we always want to cover the white spot, the white border. Same with that, cover the white border. Gotta cut this one off. Other side. Okay. There we go. 3, 4, 5. These are my 5 sheets. Okay, I don't think I need this anymore. Well, for now. Okay, so I didn't glue them, but, oh, I gotta cut this one. Oh, how'd I miss that? Okay, we will get to the gluing, and then if you're inking, you want to ink. I inked two or three, because I didn't want to have you watch me ink. That's not the most fun thing. Let's put that back here. Okay, so this one you can see I already inked. I am not going to ink this because we kind of want that to, it's going to be folded in half like this. We're not going to really need that, but we want to ink just the edges that are going to stick out here, and both sides, the edges that are going to stick out here. So let's see, this one I inked. This one and this one are not inked. So let's catch them up with the inking. Okay, now I just want to ink the very corners. You don't have to go across there because that will be covered. So just to go over it, you need 5 double-sided. These are cardstock. I would love to try one on just double-sided printer paper without doubling it. I'm not too sure how well that will hold up. So I've done all mine exactly with the cardstock. Okay. One more side. Once I ink this one, I will show you how I glue it, and then I will ink the rest. Okay, so what I do is you can use any glue you would want to use on, I'm just grabbing the art glitter glue, and on the white side, if you have a white side, or you just want to run a bead fairly close to the edge. Then on this side, you also want to run a bead fairly close to the edge. Guess it would make sense if I turn it sideways. So once you have a half decent bead, put down, put that over there. Make sure you fold it over the white mark. Then gently at first, gently, we don't want to mush all the glue out. And I'm just going over all those, and that's what you should have. And put it aside. Okay. Let's just start on this one, and we will ink this. Again, you don't have to ink. I don't think when I watched Pink Monarch put hers together, she did not. I don't believe she inked, but she had also had a lot of prep. Otherwise, you just get confused with how much is going on. But as long as you remember, you need 5 of your 8.5 by 11 double-sided, printed on both sides, double-sided. Cut the 11-inch side down to 10. Unless you want to do the next size up, you can keep it 11, especially if you can print without a border, then you can use all 11 inches, and that's what I would do. I would use all 11 inches, but I have to cut the border, so, all right. Get the glue again. Put glue on the white side. Fairly close to the edge. That. Then definitely on the edge of this side. And okay, just gonna these a little extra pressing down, and we're gonna put it aside to dry. Okay, this one's already inked, so we're just gonna glue it. Not good. Not good. Don't want to glue those down. And then on this side. Okay. Oop. There. Press. Put it over there to dry. Okay, 2 more. This one is not inked. So let's ink that up. Just making sure I don't have any, yeah, doubles. I don't want doubles of what's going to show. And not much of this shows, because this is going to be the accordion. Okay. Hopefully, I won't keep everyone for over an hour. Hopefully, we can get this whole thing done. Not decorated, but done. That would be very nice. And you can always rewind and watch something if it slipped right past, if I was too fast. Okay, put the glue on the white band. And a nice amount of glue. We don't want to be too skimpy because we don't need it falling apart. Okay. See, that looks like, so if you get a tiny little thing like that, we're just gonna remove it. Fixed. one more. This one's already inked. So all we have to do is glue. Okay. Oh, my allergies have been so bad. You may hear it in my throat. It's just allergies. And I think it was last night or the night before, I was actually going to make this. And my allergies were so bad that I just couldn't put myself or use through that. So I had to wait. Okay. Now we have all 5. Get them. Okay. Now the only thing you want to make sure you remember is the part that has the seam on it. That's the part that gets folded towards each other. So since I have 10 inches, I think I can use my little one because we're going to score at 5. So you want to remember you're scoring where the seam is. Maybe I should have just inked a little bit of the seam so you could see it. But on every one you want to, well, I mean, you can score on either side. You just want to fold it. Let's do this. 5. Okay, okay, 5. And you may want to score from both sides because it is quite thick, especially where it overlaps. So you may want to score from both sides. And you want to make sure when you fold it in that you're folding it with the seam that we glued on the inside, like that. Once you fold it in, you're going to take your bone folder and really give it a good press. You cannot be too shy about the pressing here. Okay. I should have made sure I was, okay, that's good. Okay, so now we have that. Now we need 4 more. So here we go. Here's the seam. I'm going to put that in. Go to 5. Spin it. Go to 5. The seam, that's where we fold it in. We want to make sure we really give this a good pressing because it does get bulky with all this folding. It's bulky for sure, but we're professionals. I think we can deal with this. All right. Seam, make sure we know where that is. 5. Flip it. Do it again, and now we are going to, here's the seam. So it gets curled in, fold it in. Good press. Okay. Okay, the seam. So that's where we want to fold in. Okay, one more. The 5. Okay, find your seam and fold it in. Okay, now we're going to just ink each one of those edges. I'm going to ink before we go on, because we don't want to forget it. And I am going to go through my different paper stash and stuff. I want to see if I have what other kind of couple papers I have, because I'd like to make a couple different kind of themey ones. But I'm not printing anything. No more printing until I use up what I have, or use a lot of what I have. Okay. All right. Well, I'll leave this out because I do want to show you. Now, these are the next pieces that you're going to need. They will start like this, and the measurements on this will be 3.5 by 2 1/4. So 3.5 by 2 1/4, and you need 11. So once you have it, I believe that's so it's 3.5 by 2 1/4. So this is the right size. Then I rounded all the corners. Like this. Now before I go any further, I want to make sure that I didn't change my, because these are the ones that end up, being too long, and I'll show you what I mean. All of these, they fold in. You take this and you score it and fold it in half. All 11. You score and fold in half. So let's do that. Okay, so there's half. So I score it, fold it, and ink it. It does not have to be precise, and I'll show you why in a minute. But as long as you get close, really close to half, you'll be good. Okay, so now you have your group of them. I inked all mine. To be honest, I wasn't really supposed to ink the sides that go deep down in, because you take this, you put glue, and pretty much glue, and you put it on like this. Now here's where, again, I made mine to where it's only about, what would that be, like an 1/8 of an inch from the corner of the paper. You would want probably more than that. If you want yours to open more, you want to make these shorter. So you only want to make this side shorter. So this is 3.5. Go 3 1/4. If you go 3 1/4, then your accordion will open wider than my accordion. but I had already cut all my pieces, and I was going to trim them. It's just, I don't know. I mean, not that I couldn't, but you know how it is. So, if you're going to leave more space in the top and the bottom, so you're going to actually make this piece shorter, instead of 3.5, you want to go 3.25. So it just depends what look you want. If you want to be able to just have it to slide in and out of tags in and out or whatever, but if you really want it to be able to open, you want them shorter. That's just how that is. And we're going to glue them. Whoop. Nope, we got to glue. And that's the only kind of semi tricky part. It's not that it's hard, it's just, you'll see. You will see. I like to use this glue because it gives me a little bit more maneuverability. I get to have more time to roll it around, to move it around. So let's try that as long as it comes out. Okay, and I'll do a couple with the white, with the other glue so that you can see it better. But you know, you definitely want it to be generous with the glue. You don't want it squirting out all over the place, but you want to be generous. And I forgot that keeps overflowing. Okay, so you want to take your, I think I want it to this way. Okay, so there it is. You just want to slip it in like that, push it down like that, and you should still have the 2 pockets like that. So give it a good, and there. Put that aside, get another one. And we're just going to keep doing that until all 5 are done. Each one gets, maybe now I'll switch. I should have filled my glue, but I did not. Come on out. Okay, there we go. My goodness. All right. Right. Lay it down. Whoop. Just trying to get it. Whoop. Semi. Okay. There we go. You want it like that. Push it in and down. Go. Whoop, got some fluffy. Okay, make sure that the glue is not. There you have it. There's another one. I'm gonna finish the rest of these, and then I'll be back. Okay, we have all 5 done. Now we have to do it again. We have to take these and glue one of these. We have to glue 2 together. That's what we have to do. So we'll pick the 2 you're going to glue together. So it doesn't really matter for me. I think I might as well just go with this one. And then I'll do this one. And then maybe this one, and this one. Okay. So these two will get glued together. So I will glue one to this side and one to this side. Now you may want to make sure that if you have something that you don't want upside down, you know, I don't know, these papers are pretty, don't really matter much, but okay, so I'm going to take this and we're going to glue all of them together, and then that will give us our accordion. And again, you really don't want to be shy with the glue. Okay, you want to go this way. So this one will go in here, right up to the score, and then this one will get slid in here right to the score, and try to keep these lined up like that. So okay, now this last piece here will get one here and here like that. So let's pick another one. I think it matters. Try and get our glue in it. Okay. I'm gonna put it in the last one there, right up to the score mark. I'm gonna pick this one up. Make sure it's not upside down, if it matters to you. And put it in. There we go. So here's our, I don't want to pull on it. There's no way that glue is dry yet. Okay. Now we're going to go with one more. You know what? I think I'm going to put this one here. Yep. And these are what we have, so we'll just go with one of these. That's the good part about this. You can change your mind, and it is fine. Okay, so I'm going to put that one here, right to the score line. Pick up my bunch, and then put that one right in there, right to the score line. Good. And then the last one will go in here. Doesn't really matter. Got glue all over me. How I manage. Okay. Last page. Slide it in right to the score line. Pick this one up. Put it in. Slide that down to the score or crease, whatever you want to call it. There it is. Here it is. Now these last two will go one here. It will flap like that, so we're going to put that in. This one and the last flap that we have there those will be what we glue the cover pages onto. So no one will see these, but so you don't glue this side. We don't do that yet. Okay. Oh, not both sides. Just gonna glue it onto this side. So now we should have two flaps like that. Okay. So let's glue that on. All right. Lovely. Okay, there we go. I should have, I see I didn't line them up. You can line them up better. Oops, not that glued down yet. So here's our flaps. This is where the last 4 pieces. Why do we have 4 pieces? We have the 2, which I'll give you the measurements on for mine. The measurement for the bigger one is 5 3/8 by 4 3/8 because I wanted it bigger. We need it bigger than the rest of the book, so it has to cover that. This one then, because we're only going to glue it on like that, and then this one glues on top like that. We'll get to that. Let's do this one first. I don't want to confuse anyone. So, boom. I can put, that one's my small one. Where's my, those are my 2 small. Okay. So I pick which one I want to be my cover. And pick this one. So all I have to do is put glue there and glue this on it like that. So we're going to do that. Let's do it with this. All right. So we, again, don't want to be conservative with the glue. We don't. Okay. And oh, now I think the last time on mine I held it like that and put little lines on it so I knew where I wanted it to go. But we don't need to do that. Okay, there. Now we can go right to whichever one you want, but I wanted it to be a little tiny smaller so that, so again, these are the small ones. The bigger ones are 5 3/8 by 4 3/8. Then these are 5 1/8 by 4 1/8. 5 1/8 by 4 1/8. You can make that a little bigger, you know, you can make that any size you want. That's how, I should have pushed that down a little bit. That's how much will stick out. So when you do put it on, I'm just going to put on the short one also right away, so it doesn't really matter. I'm going to move it back as far as I can, but I just want it to have the edge of the other one sticking out, so that's what we're going to do. It doesn't matter which one I put on, and I'm going to put the glue on here. because this is the smaller piece. I always find it a little harder with bigger pieces to get this glue dries so much quicker. It becomes translucent. Okay. Let's get it on there. I like holding mine up. It doesn't really matter. Just doing mine like that. And then you can wiggle it at any way you want, but I plan to decorate the insides here, so, and you will too, so. All right, now this one gets on this side. So we're gonna just put the glue here. Okay. To be honest, let's see if I want it. How do I want it? Do I want it like that or like that or like that? I guess I'll do it this way, and the reason why, you'll see. Whoop. Glued it on the wrong way then on top of it. Okay, so I'll put this like that, but before I press down too much, I want to bring it in with the one that's already there. Okay, and this one goes on the inside. So let's get that on. Crazy glue in here. I'm gonna have to fill all my glue bottles. They're all pretty sad. Okay. Alrighty. Here we go. Get it about where you want it. Oh, that's a little crooked, but I think we'll live. There it is. Now you have your journal side, and then you have your, and what I did before is I took my, I took my ruler, and then I always just make sure nothing got glued, and it's just the cutest little thing. So there it is. Then you can just decide what do you want to use as your closure. Like I just used leftover pieces of paper and made little spin it around. And this. Yep. And obviously when you get, like, let me look here in my little pieces of junk. And I'll put that out of my way. So you could go into your little pieces of junk and decide, like, which, you can decide which, okay, so that, to me, that, I like that, because I like that. So I might pick something like maybe one of these sizes, and maybe this part and put that here. You could go with something completely that stands out a little bit more, or something that even stands out a little bit more, like something like that. That might be cool. You can do, let me reach, for this one, I just basically made like one of the pieces that we made to hold them together. I made one of them, and then it just opens on one end, and it's glued on that end. This one opens on one end, and it's glued on that end. So that's what I did for this one. To me, this is the front, so same thing. It's glued on the back, and on this one, it's opens on that side, and it's glued on the back. So just kind of two different looks, and there you have it. That's all you have to do now, is figure out what you want. What you want as a closure. That's too little. I'm just looking at what, because I might want something, you know, kind of that stands out a little bit more. So I'd have to go through my papers. I wasn't prepared to get that far, so, but there it is. So now it's already made. The journal side, the accordion side. Lovely. Isn't it cute? I think they're adorable. Okay, well, in the meantime, stay creative and be kind. Hugs.